Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Good, thanks. So, thank you so much for talking to me today. We're just going to have a super quick chat about how you found your experience inside the hormone balance solution, and yeah, and anything that you want to tell any woman who is thinking about joining, and why you think they may want to join. So, um, you had some, I don't know if you'd call them bad experiences before the HBS or just unclear. I'm not sure. You can talk about it in your own terms, but maybe just tell the women who are watching, what was your experience with doctors or health professionals before you joined the hormone balance solution, and what were your symptoms like before you joined? And we'll go
Mhm.
from there.
Yeah. So I had come off of the birth control pill about 3 years before doing the HBS, and kind of ever since then I started getting all different sorts of symptoms. I was getting really bad cystic acne. I was tired all the time. I was getting headaches really frequently, and it was all kind of things that I knew there was some hormonal things going on, and every time I mentioned it to my doctor, they were like, "Oh, well, you can just go back on the pill." Um, or I went to dermatologists and they wanted to put me on steroids or antibiotics and all sorts of things like that, and I, didn't want to do that, so I just kind of ended up Googling a lot of symptoms and kind of trying to find it my own way, and eventually found my way to the HBS. So
Yeah.
here I am.
So is it fair to say you weren't really getting many answers when you went to your doctor? Like they were just sort of saying,
Yeah.
you know, what's up? Just,
Yeah. They a lot of times they just kind of said it's normal to have acne. They were like, oh well, if you're at a different time of the month, it's normal and there's nothing to worry about. So yeah, they definitely weren't really seeming like they even thought there was an issue.
exactly, because I don't think doctors really understand that these symptoms, they are the body's way of waving a red flag saying something's up. And then you had some other symptoms too, didn't you? Like long cycles. I think your cycles were like 35 days. And
Yeah.
was there
Yeah.
some anxiety?
Yeah. I started getting some anxiety, which was completely new and kind of felt like it was out of character for me. Like I felt like it was kind of it showed up out of the blue, and I was kind of like hit me. I was like, okay, something's really going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, my cycles were very consistently long. When I first came off the pill, they were non-existent for a little while, and then they did come back, but they were 35 days or so in between. So yeah, there was just clearly something
Yeah.
going on there.
Absolutely. And then we sort of pieced everything together. And when we looked at your Dutch test, there are a few key markers on that Dutch test that when we looked at that, and then I looked at your symptoms, I was like, hang on a minute, this looks like PCOS. And so we had a chat about, have you been diagnosed? Had you had any of the tests? And then I think I said to you, well, here are some tests you can do. And then what ended up happening? You ended up getting an ultrasound, I think. How did you finally get the diagnosis?
Well, I had to switch gynecologists, I think twice, because the first one I went to, she didn't really know. It didn't to me didn't feel like she knew what she was talking about. She pretty much her first reaction was, "Oh, don't worry, you can just go on the pill and it'll fix it." And it was I actually was crying in her office when she's telling me that, because it was just this whole feeling of not being listened to again, and I was trying to get to the bottom of the answers, and it just felt like every time I went to a doctor they were telling me just to go back on the pill. So yeah, I switched doctors, and then she finally ordered an ultrasound and ordered some blood work to test my insulin and glucose levels. And yeah, on the ultrasound, it definitely showed up. I had the polycystic ovaries, and then within the blood test as well, it did show up. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So you finally got a diagnosis,
yeah,
which,
finally,
yeah, you got some answers, more to the point. The
yeah.
diagnosis is just a label, but you got answers. So, so I guess wrapping this up, how did you find your experience then in the HBS, and would you recommend it to other women?
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's been absolutely worth it. I'm so happy that I finally, took the plunge to, do something that I feel like was something that my body needed, and kind of, do something for myself where I felt like there was always something going on, and I just kind of didn't really take it seriously. But I think, I'm glad that I finally found you and was able to get those answers. And I feel like you've also been really great about educating me. So, after the HBS is over, I feel like I'm more prepared to kind of make those life choices for myself and kind of make that lifestyle change, which I think is super important. So I feel knowledgeable to be able to do that by myself going forward. So yeah, I absolutely would recommend it to anybody that feels like they have some sort of hormone issues going on. I think, especially for me, I tend to just go on, Google and search stuff, and I'll be looking for, that one silver bullet thing. And, if I added up the amount of money I've spent on those silver bullet cures that never did anything, I wouldn't even want to know what that number is. So, yeah, I'm so grateful for all the work that we've been able to do together.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad I've had the pleasure of meeting you and helping you, and hopefully we'll just continue this journey together. So, do you feel better after doing the HBS?
Yeah, I feel like I have a lot more energy than I did previously. I think I'm just about 3 months in now, which is, when the hormonal changes are supposed to start really taking into effect. And I actually feel like my acne is starting to clear up, which makes me like want to cry of happiness, because that's, been an ongoing thing for almost 3 years now. So that's pretty amazing. And I just feel much, much better. My anxiety has gone away. I don't feel like I have anxiety anymore. So yeah, it's been great.
I'm so, so happy for you. And thank you so much for taking the time, because I think that the more people that we can educate and share this experience with, the better. It's really all about educating women. Like you said, I do have a huge educational component into the program, because you guys need to know how to do this for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So thank you
Yeah,
very much for your
so
time.
helpful.
And I'll see you inside the HBS.
Yes, thanks so much.
Alrighty, thanks.